Hey fellow beaders, it's JP here, and I am going to show you the finished product for the bead collaboration challenge that I was doing with Odin Musings and Beading Heart. Now the palette I had chosen is, I forgot the name of the palette exactly, but basically it had the color turquoise that I have here. It had sort of a dark purple. And then it had a lighter purple in the palette. Then it had sort of a peach salmon-y color, and then it had this light pink blush color. And so the challenge was to use the particular colors that we've picked in our bead challenge, and then to make something with it. We could use any beads that we wanted. There wasn't a bead type requirement or anything like that. So these were the beads that I used. I ended up not using the Rivoli that I had shown in the original part 1 video, and ended up using 4mm bicones in the same color instead. Okay, so here's my bracelet. So I ended up making a bracelet, and here's what it looks like. I think it came out really nice. I like the combination of colors. And so as you can see, I used the round 6mm beads that are here, and along with the 4mm turquoise bicones here. And then I used 11Os in 2 colors. I've had my dark purple and my peach 11Os, and they're here at the top. And then my blush colored bicones are at the very top of the individual components. Anyway, so I hope you guys think that I met the challenge of the tutorial. I ended up needing to make 6 of these components. So I needed 24 of these 6mm beads, and I needed, 10 bicones per component. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So I needed 58 bicones total. So when I wear about a 6.5 to 7 inch bracelet. So this is what you're going to get when you make 6 of these components. And then you just needed a whole bunch of seed beads, 2 jump rings, and some type of clasp. So I just used a simple lobster claw clasp. And you're going to need about an arm span to maybe 1.5 arm span of thread. I recommend using a heavier thread, like an 8-pound or a 10-pound even of the fireline, because the 6mm beads, at least the ones that I used, had fairly big holes. And these are just glass beads, so I didn't use anything fancy. You know, it's not a pearl or anything like that, just your basic purple glass beads. Okay guys, well, stay tuned for the tutorial on how to make this bracelet. To begin our component, you want to pick up bicones and the 6mm round beads in an alternating order like this. And then what you want to do is make a circle. So I'm actually going to go ahead and make a knot, just your basic square knot here. And you want to leave a little bit of a tail. Just like that. So you'll get a little round circle of beads and bicones. So go ahead and reinforce your circle now and go through it a couple of times and make sure it's nice and secure. And I'm going to go through getting a little bit of a shadow. So I'm going to just move the light source over a little bit, so hopefully we don't get as much of a shadow for you guys. And I hope that you guys can hear me, that this is loud enough. Okay, so once you've reinforced, and oh, looks like I missed a couple of beads here. I'm going to move my tail out of the way. So once you've reinforced, what you want to do is we're going to go ahead and make the loop for our clasp. So what you want to do is pick up 11, sorry, not 11, 8 11 O's. That's 6, 7, 8. And you're going to go back around. You're exiting the round bead. You're going to go back around the round bead. So these seed beads loop around like so. And I'm just going to turn it over so I can actually go back up through the beads again. I'm just reinforcing. And you actually don't want to have any slack, so I'm going to go ahead and pull it on the thread to make sure I don't have any slack. And then I'm going to go up. And I want to come out of the 5th bead in my loop here, which is right there. And then I'm going to pick up 6 more beads. And I'm going to go through beads number 4 and number 5. So, and this creates a little circle of 11 O beads, and you're going to reinforce this. So I'm just going to flip it so it's easier for me to work at this angle. So you want to go through this a few times. I'm actually going to just go through this once, and just to save us a little time. And then just going back down the seed beads here on the side. So again, make sure there's no slack in your thread, and go through the seed beads. And then you're just going to go through your purple beads and your bicones, and you want to come out of this bead on the opposite side. So I'm just going to circle around until I get to the round bead that's on the opposite side of my clasp loop. Okay. Actually, I guess I spoke too soon. Didn't actually need to do that, but that's okay. Doesn't really matter. We're actually going to make the top portion of this component. So what you're going to do is pick up 11 O's, and you're going to pick up 9 of them. So I'm going to do these in alternating order because it's part of my design, and it's also going to be a lot easier to see on camera. Okay, so I've got 6, 7, 8, and 9. And you're going to go around the purple bead. Just like so, and then you're going to go through your bicone, and you're going to come out of the next purple bead, the next round, 6mm round that I'm using here. Now you're going to do it again. You're going to pick up 9 11 O's. And we are going to repeat, go back through the same bead until you have another loop, just like you did before here. Go through your bicone, and now you're coming out of the purple bead with the loop. And you're just repeating what you just did here. So you're going to create another loop just like these two. Just adjusting the focus. And I'm picking up 11 O's. I'm sure you can see that here. And they're falling off my needle. 2, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, and 9. And actually, you're going to go back around the purple bead and make loop number 3, and then go through the bicone and the last purple bead here in our group. So this is what this should look like. And then again, we're picking up more 11 O's. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And we go back around our bead here. Just like that. Now what you're going to do is go through again the bicone and the purple 6mm round. And then you're going to come out of the middle bead. So in this case, it's my 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th bead here, and it's the purple 11O. Just like so. And then you're going to pick up a bicone, and you're just going to go through that middle bead again in your loop. So it'll be the 5th bead, or if you're alternating colors like me, it'll be really easy to pick out as opposed to having to count. And you just want to pull your loops together. Pick up another bicone, go through again that central bead. Like so. Repeat again. Going through the central 11O in this loop. And one last time, go through the 11O, and then you'll go through the bicones. And you're going to reinforce. Anyway, this will bring your component together, and this is what it's going to look like. It's a pretty little component, really quick and easy to make up. And as I said, we're going to reinforce this. I'm just going through the bicones and the purple 11 O's. And going to, so I want to come out of this, round. And so I'm going to just go through the bicone, if I can just get my needle through the hole and the 11-0, and then work my way down the rest of the 11-0s that are in that loop. I hope you guys are able to see this once I'm recording this in the evening, and so I have my lights all on, but I'm getting a lot more shadows than I normally would, because normally I record in the daytime. But it's hard to do sometimes because there's other stuff going on, as I'm sure you guys all know. Okay, you're going to come out of this bead, so make sure you're exactly opposite of the loop that you made. Now you're going to pick up an 11-0 bicone, 11-0. Then you pick up a 6mm round, and then another 11-0 bicone, 11-0. So here's what you have. All right, I'm going to push those down, and then I'm going to go back around my round bead here. And this is what I'm going to get. And again, you want to reinforce this circle here. And then, as you can see, I'm just going through the beads. Like so. Pick up a bicone, 6mm, another bicone, another 6mm, bicone, your 6mm, and a bicone. So you picked up a total of 3 more of the round 6mm beads and 4 of your bicones. And we're going back around just the purple. And now we've started our second component in our bracelet. So you're going to reinforce this, and then you start making the loops just like you did here in this first component. Okay, so I'm going to make sure I come out of my first one here. Just like so. Then I'm going to pick up So I'm picking up 9 beads like before, and I'm alternating between the purple and my peach here. So here we are. I got my 9 beads. And then I'm just going to go back through that purple round bead. Like so. That's what you're going to get. And then I'm going to go through the bicone and then come out of the next round bead here. And I'm just repeating again. So it's going to be purple and peach. So I'm going to pick up 9 11-0s. And I need one more. And I'm going around just like so. Okay, so I'm going to have you guys go ahead and finish off and repeat the same thing for the last 2 beads. So just go ahead and go through your bicone and go and then exit out of the purple bead. Just like that. Okay, so if you've added loops around your beads, then this is what your piece is going to look like. And you're going to be exiting out of one of these purple beads. So what we're going to do is go through the bicone and exit out of the next purple bead. Then you're going to go up into the loop. So you want to go through your seed beads and you want to come out of the middle seed bead here in this loop. So it's going to be seed bead number 5, or in this case my 5th seed bead is the purple one. Like so, and then I'm going to connect my loops together rather. So I'm going to pick up a bicone and then I'm going to go into the next 5th bead here. And give a nice little pull here. And my other loop has gone under there. I'm going to pick up another bicone, go through the bead again. And you're going to repeat again. One more time. So I've added 4 bicones and I've connected my loops together if I can actually get through the bead. Sometimes the angle of the bead and the angle of the needle just don't make any sense and they won't connect. Okay, there we go. Just give it a good tug so your component is nice and secure, and you reinforce our little circle here. So I'm just going through the 11-ohs and the bicones. I hope you guys can hear me, that this video is loud enough. I seem to get that complaint a lot about my videos, that the volume is not loud enough or I'm too soft spoken. I've got the volume on my mic maxed out, so I'm not sure what the problem is, because not everybody has a problem either. I would understand it if everybody was having this difficulty, but not everyone is. Okay, so I've finished reinforcing and I'm just gonna go down into the seed beads and I want to exit out of this purple one so that I can continue making my components and continue increasing the length of my bracelet. All right, so for this next part, I have to actually grab some more of my turquoise bicones. I didn't take out enough. So here we are. There's some more of those. Gotta grab one of these beads. So I'm gonna pick up an 11-oh bicone, 11-oh, the 6mm, and then again 11-oh bicone, 11-oh, go through the bead again, and there's our connector. And don't forget, you want to go around this a couple of times to reinforce. And then what you're going to do is pick up your bicone, your 6mm. Oops, and that one just rolled off the needle. Bicone, 6mm, bicone, 6mm, and bicone. So 4 bicones and 3 6mm. You're going to go back around this first one here. And basically you're set up to continue making the next component. All right, so keep going until you reach the desired length of your bracelet. Okay, so if you continued with the bracelet, here's what it should look like. And I ended up making a total of 6 components. I added some jump rings to my loops and a lobster claw clasp to one side along with jump ring. And there you are. So very simple, and I hope that I met the challenge of the colors. So let me know what you guys think.